This is the recap video for the Acts of Service Couples Thai Massage Workshop at Nava Yoga Studio. And we began with the feet. Because the theme was Acts of Service, we focused on the minor touches, hands, feet, face, head, and neck. So you can really take the time to give, take the time to receive, because remember that the other side of the coin of an act of service is receiving a gift. So, partners face up, come down to the feet, sit next to outer leg that you're going to work on, scoop underneath the ankle and bring the leg in a diagonal line across your bottom leg so the foot is on your lap. You don't want to be too close or too far. Support underneath the ankle and circle the ankle, palm to the ball of the foot, push forward, roll out to the side, and then curl the toes as you lean back. At least 3 times in one direction, 3 to 5 times if you're going traditional Thai. And then pause in the flexed foot, elbow high, heel of hand to tops of the toe knuckles. Elbow comes down by your side, lean back gently, pointing the foot. Release, and now we're going to invert. So reach the forearm in front of the foot, in front of the top of the foot. Grip the ball of the foot and turn out to the side. Move the hand down slightly, grip the arch of the foot, but closer to the big toe. Same thing, turn out to the side, inverting the foot. Move the hand down to the arch of the foot closer to the heel. Same. And now return hand to the second position. Arch of the foot closer to the toe. Release to center. Grip the ball of the foot and invert. Switch hands. Same pattern, except this time we're everting. So squeeze pinky toe side of the ball of the foot. Elbow comes towards your side, not as much range of motion here, naturally. Reach or release and grip just a bit further down on the knife edge of the foot, pinky toe side of the foot. Third hand position, closer to the heel. Second hand position, middle of the outer edge of the foot. And first hand position, ball of the foot close to the pinky toe. And release. Next, we're going to use the thumbs to compress the bottom of the foot from just above the heel all the way up to the ball of the foot and the toes, at least 3 times, exploring, noticing any spots where there's tension, density, heat, or inflammation. You can even kind of just squeeze and hang out at a dense spot. And as always, feel free to check in with your partner who's receiving. Feel free to be a little bit bossy about it and tell partner who's giving the spot that you want them to work on the most, if you'd like for them to pause. So again, at least 3 times, and now we're going to drag up the outer edge of the foot, okay? In order to do that, outer hand, elbow high, like a upside down V shape between my thumb and my index finger. I'm gonna grip, other hand supports under the heel, and I'm dragging up, like really drag up the skin, the outer edge of the foot, all the way up to the pinky toe, and then we'll switch to some toe pulling, some coin rubbing, pinch at the nail bed, and maybe snap off. I like this technique because you get to address the energy lines that go all the way down the legs, all the way out the toes, without necessarily intending to pop the toe knuckles. They'll pop if they need to pop, but this way you're just pulling, massaging, coin rubbing, and then snapping off. Point the foot, flex the foot, and remove it, place it to the side. We're just gonna keep working on the feet, but have your partner turn over so they're face down. And we're gonna work foot to foot now, and you can get a little more pressure in a little different position. So one foot stays grounded, in this case my right foot. I flex my left foot, heel grounds, and then I displace weight forward into the ball of my foot onto the ball and arch of her foot. And I'm just transferring weight back and forth, back and forth. Can work one foot at a time in this way. You can even work both feet so long as you have good balance at the same time. For deeper pressure, turn around. This time, again, ground in one leg. This time it's my left leg. Heel is the part of my foot that lifts up. And now I'm going to sink weight back onto the sole of the foot. So the heel is sharper, and also you tend to be able to ground a little bit more of your weight down into the heel. You can work both feet at the same time here, but only if your balance is good. And just to show what I'm doing from a top-down approach, we've got heel down, displace weight forward, right, maybe both, and then maybe turn around. I've got a hand on the wall here too, so it makes it a little easier. Have your partner lie supine in a tree pose. So one knee is bent. So with your partner in a supine tree position, come to a kneeling position next to the straight leg. Open the arm up to the side. You want your hips, so like my belly button is in line with both of her hips if she were wearing a belt. My leg that's closer to her legs steps across the straight leg, heel grounds down against the mat, and the ball of the foot rests pretty gently on this bend in the inner knee. From here, rise up to a lifted kneeling position and grab the other arm. We're bringing her into a twist away from the bended knee, okay? We need to do this with synchronized breath. So deep breath in. Exhale, grab the shoulder, lean the hips back to initiate the twist, switch hands. Other hand comes to space in between the shoulder blades as partner inhales. Exhale, guide the twist. Move the hand down, inhale, release to the back. Exhale, my hips move back, allowing for the twist. Hand slides down on the inhale. Exhale, hips sink back, both hands pull. Now we move back up. Inhale. Exhale. I'm right next to her spine, gripping the ribs. Inhale back to center. Exhale. And one last time, grabbing both hands on the shoulder. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, release. Partner can straighten the leg. Give it a jostle. Next, we worked the hand. So, bring your partner's hand down by their sides. You can sit with the legs crossed or straight, or a different position, even kneeling. Turn the palm down, and now I'm just squeezing her hand. Squeezing like this, her pinky side of her palm and her thumb side. I'm going to stretch the top side of her hand by lifting it up. My hand where my thumb matches up with her thumb, threads the fingers from underneath, grips the top of the hand in between the carpals, I believe, long straight bones of the hand. And I'm going to bring the thumb into it too. So with my other hand, I'm going to grab the thumb. Now I'm going to lean back 3 times, probably getting a stretch all the way up to the neck. Now I'm going to turn her palm up. I'm going to thread the fingers in a similar spirit, but in a different way. You can use both hands. So one hand threads between the pinky and ring finger. The other hand overlaps that middle finger. So I can open up her palm and use my thumbs to drag across the skin of the hand. If you work with your hands or even on the computer, this can feel really good to open it up. Let's turn the palm back down. If you find parts of the palm that are really tight, you can push into them with your fingertips. So you can use index finger or pointy part of middle finger, whatever, to really get specific into any tight areas. And then we're going to squeeze the master release point in between the index finger and thumb. It's used as a headache point. You can find the exact point by bringing the thumb next to the index finger and seeing this part. It's kind of like the peak of the mound of that muscle tissue. And that's where we're going to pinch, both on the bottom side and on the top side. You can pinch and hold and breathe. And imagine energy and tension traveling down from the neck, shoulder, forearm, jaw, all that's in this energy line above this point. You can help relieve that tension just by pausing here, adding pressure, feeling the muscle soften. Gently release, massage it back out with this general squeezing pattern. And now we're going to coin rub, or slide the energy down each and every finger. Personally, I like to bring the fingers in between my index finger and middle finger, but you can coin rub them between the thumb and inner knuckle of the index finger if that works better for you. Start at the pinky, move with the contours, pinch at the nail bed, and maybe make a snapping sound. Other hand supports at the wrist. Very good. Once you've moved energy out the thumb, release the hand. Next, we moved on to the head and neck. So, place your palms, heels of hand on the top of the shoulders. Lean a little bit side to side. Introduce some range of motion, stretching through the shoulders and neck. And now, fingers are going to slide underneath the back of the neck. First things first, slide any hair out of the way. And then try to slide fingers down. On either side of the spine, curl the fingers up and then drag across the skin. Notice how the chin kind of lifts. The neck moves a little, centimeter by centimeter. Create length at the back of the neck. You can either slide out to the sides at the hairline or do this 3 times. You can slide, just continue to slide all the way up the back of the hair. If you've got a lot of tension there, that might not feel so great, but that's okay. The 3rd time, we're going to stop with our hands below the back of the head. Okay? So my pinkies come to touch underneath the head as I curl my fingertips, finger pads gently to compress right below the hairline and at the hairline. There's a bunch of muscles there that get really tight when we bring our head forward and lift our chin up, just like most of us do when we're driving, when we're using our phones, when we're at the computer. So we're creating some length here. We're releasing some tension here. Once you feel some softening in the muscles, you can stay there as long as you and your partner like. Separate the thumbs to the other side of the ears and roll the head side to side. At least a couple times in each direction. And then roll to one side and pause. The hand that's underneath gently grips the base of the skull. Top hand releases to the shoulder. Straight arm, lean toward the shoulder to stretch this side of the neck, shoulder. At least 3 times. And then with a braced thumb, trace from the AC joint here. So there's a bone that gets kind of flat right at the top of the shoulder, a couple bones at least that meet there. To the inside of it, the soft tissue is where we start this line. I want you to press and lean forward. Trace the line all the way into the neck and then switch to the 4 fingers. Now I'm kind of pushing in toward the neck and circling around all the way up to the ear, really behind the ear. Switch to fingertips or fingernails, circling at the hair and feather off. Roll the head into the other hand and do the same thing. For now, we'll bring the head back to center. We're going to scoop underneath the back of the head, lift chin toward the chest. One hand supports the back of the head, the other forearm threads underneath, and palm fingers really come to the opposite shoulder. Her head's resting on my forearm, other forearm threads underneath, palms press the front of the shoulders, and 3 times I'm just going to lift her head by lengthening my arms forward and then release back down. One hand at a time to release the head and feather off. Next we'll move to the face. So bring thumbs together at the 3rd eye. Gently compress above the eyebrows and drag out to the sides. Feather off at the hairline. You could do that 3 times. And then let's make circles at the temporalis muscles, at the temples. So I'm pressing my finger pads in toward one another here. And then dragging behind the ears to do a little ear pulling. So you can pinch, and it's like you're opening both ears up like a book. Ear lobes, middle of the ears, top of the ears. Next, I'm going to bring my finger pads to her jaw muscles, the masseter. Pressing, I'm using fingertips here rather than finger pads, but you can use either. Communicate with your partner, find maybe a tense spot. I like to compress into the muscle tissue and then circle around a little bit. You can trace the jawline down to the chin. Give a little pinch at the chin. Next, trace right underneath the cheekbones in toward the sinuses. I use my 2 index fingers right next to and slightly above the nostrils, pushing straight down into the mat. Drag up the bridge of the nose to the inner aspect of the eyebrows. There's a little notch there. Can hook and then drag out at the 3rd eye again. And finally, with your thumbs, drag up at the hairline. Keep dragging back toward the middle of the head and feather off. That's all we did for our Acts of Service Couples Thai Massage Workshop. Nice relaxing massage techniques like this put the body into a parasympathetic nervous response, which is the opposite of fight or flight. It's rest and digest. And you might hear your own belly start to digest more. You might notice if you're working on your partner that their belly starts making noises or they fall asleep. And this just means that the body really needed to heal. You were in a state of stress and your digestion kind of isn't as important as fight, fly, or freeze. So when you get the body out of a state of stress, even though everything we did today was really subtle, when you get the body into a parasympathetic nervous response, then you rest and you digest, and some people call it feed and breed. So those are just nicknames. But I hope you enjoy this act of service. I hope you've enjoyed the videos, recaps for this series, and I hope you stay tuned and maybe can join for a workshop or series in the future.